In this video, I'm going to walk you through the basics of a simple trend analysis that includes pre-processing data, identifying trend start price, and trend max level. There will be a bonus tip near the end of this video. Let's dive in. I'm going to quickly go over how I get the price trend maximum level. As you see on this column, I've prepared an HTML file and I'll post that to my Facebook group so that you can follow along step by step if you miss my code demo in this video. Go to command prompt. So let me activate my environment. You may have your own environment. If you don't know how to activate your environment, you can feel free to refer to my previous videos. It's in the folder my trade. It's called my trade env. Again, you may have a different name than mine. So let me just go to scripts and then activate it. Now I'm in my virtual environment. Let me just call up Python idle. It's just idlelib.idle. You may use other text editors like Sublime Text, or you can do it in Google Colab online or with Visual Studio Code. And any kind of text editors are fine. Just pick the one that you see fit. But in my case, I'm just using the Python idle because as long as you install the basic Python, you will have the Python idle. Press enter and go into the Python shell. Press Ctrl N to create a new Python file. Press Ctrl Shift S to save as, let me just call it test trend max Python. Just save as type Python. Okay, just wipe that out. This is the step one I remember in my tutorial HTML file. I stored it in the URL. I'm not going to type out the command like I did in the tutorial file. You can refer it. Yeah, you can refer to the tutorial file if you can't follow along. So I'm not going to type the command like this one, just to speed up the video, okay? In the URL, I'm going to go to, let me just look that up. It's in my GitHub, so you can just grab the data from there just for your practice, okay? Pythonbeginner. Yeah, GitHub. Just go here, clueple Pythonbeginner, and then look up for the example 2019-08-26.csv, this one, and you will see a table. You can either download the CSV or copy the URL. Control A, select the whole thing. Control C, copy, and then wrap it around in a single quote or double quote. So that's a string, right? Control V to paste it. Just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, just make it this way. So it's in a URL. Now I need pandas to read the table, right? So I import pandas as PD and then create a variable called df to store everything from this URL. So df is equal to pd.readhtml. Inside the bracket, I specify the location, which is in the variable URL. If I print df and then press F5, you will see the whole table that is wrapped around with a square bracket, right? So this is not a table. This is the first item in the list. Okay, just don't skip the step. So I'm going to create a table variable df that assigns to the list variable df and point to the first item, which is 0. Again, Python's labeling convention is the first one is 0, second one is 1, third one is 2, third one is 4, the fourth one is 3. Okay, so if you print df again, F5, you will see a table. This is the table that you get here from the URL. Okay, and again, I don't want the NaN column, the unnamed column. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of that by df.drop. Now this df is the table because df becomes df, the list df square bracket 0. So from now on, when I refer to df, it means the table. df.drop na And then I'm going to drop anything that has an NaN, which is no value. Here I'm going to specify the x is equals 1 because all the NaN are sitting inside the column and name, right? Just specify the x is equals 1. I want to change to be permanent. So the in place equals true. In place equals true. Okay. When you print df, press F5 to run. You won't see the unnamed column, so it's here. Usually for stock data, I want the date column to be the index column so that I can just refer to the date when I want to look up for whatever piece of data. Just go back. df, remember it's the table, set index, and then I specify the column name that I want it to be the index is date, and I want it to be permanent. Okay, so in place equals true. So when I press F5, I will have a table like this, right? This time, the date column becomes the index column, which is the leftmost column as you see here. I remember I need the conditions. Usually I will just wrap around this one with this. I'm going to define the conditions because you need to define the conditions before you move on. So first of all, you need to define the percentage change of the close price. When it's a positive change, it means it's an update. If the change of the close is a negative number, it is a down day. I'm going to define the day change, which is the percentage change of the close column. So it's going to be equal to the close column of the table df, and then we apply the method called pct change, percentage change, and it's going to return a number that is between -1 and 1. So I just multiply everything by 100. Usually I will wrap around like this. When you press F5, let me see if we can get the percentage. Seems like it's loading. Oh no, you know what? And then print df. So just press F5. So you see the day change column. For the first day of our record, it has NaN because it has no previous day to compare. Okay, let me see what else I need to define. To define an update, I put it in a variable called update. So it is true when the day change column is positive. So it's more than 0. Usually I've just put a bracket. And for a down day, the day change column is less than 0. Because we are doing the trend analysis, we need to know the first day of going up and the first day of going down. So I just call it first day, which is, notice it's not wrapped around in a square bracket like this. So it is not a column. The day change is a column, but the up day and down day are not columns. Okay. So the same for the first day. Oh, sorry. I should name it as first up. So the first day of uptrend should be an update, right? So it should be going up, and the previous day change should be going down. So the previous day change, so it's the day change dot shift 1. You know what? According to my note, I should name it previous day change. So I just call it previous day change equal that, so that I don't need to type the whole thing. So the previous day change has to be negative number for the first update. So for the first down day, it's completely opposite. Today should be a down day, and the previous day change should be an update. So what else? You know what? I think we still need to take care of the first 2 rows of record. Previous is now. For these 2 days, the first day of the record has no day change figure, right? So it should start by itself. For the second column, it has no previous day change record to compare. So we need to make sure it starts counting as a trend day by itself. Let's just check whether the daily percentage change of clothes dot shift backward for one row dot it's now F5 to see what we get. That's the one. I still need 3 more conditions. The first one is lower low and higher high. Let's get lower low, which is comparing today's low and the previous day's low, and pick the lower one. Just go to the low column and then we use the rolling method. The window equals 2 and we use minimum of the low. When we start our uptrend, we want to know the lowest point to start. The next one is higher high. Let me just change this one. Higher high, and it is the higher value of the high column. We roll back once and we use the max. We use the higher high when we want to capture the highest point to start for a downtrend. Then the next one is the trend change condition. This one should be equal to 3 conditions. I just write it this way. Usually I will start off with the bracket and fill in the blanks. The first one is the first update, or, so I have a pipe key, or first down day, or the previous is now, which we define here. So these 2 rows should start by itself. That's captured in the previous is now variable. Now we are going to start our trend. So let's label the trend start date. Make it a trend start date column. Okay, before that I forgot. I need a package called NumPy. Import NumPy as np because we just need the NumPy package here. So we can use the NumPy package, numpy.where, where A happens, we return B. Otherwise, we return C. So that's just a shorter form of if then else. If the trend change condition happens, I'm going to return the index, which is the date column. Otherwise, I just put a 0. I'm not sure if this works. Let me just print that out. Because sometimes it depends on what text editor you use. You might need to do a pd dot to date time and wrap around the index. But here, let me just do it this way. Try the index only method first. Okay. Press F5 to run. Yep. So here we have labeled all the trend start date. For the first 2 rows, they should start by itself. And this one you see all the 0, right? Because this is a downtrend from July 31st all the way up to August 7th. Okay, so now we want to fill up the 0 with the previous start date. So for this trend from July 31st to August 7th, I should see the trend start day to be July 31st here, 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 all the way up to August 7th. To do this, let me just redefine the trend start day to be itself and then use the replace method to replace. The replace value should be 0. And then comma, the method to replace the 0 is called forward fill. So it's FFILL, forward fill. Pandas is going to help me replace all the 0 with the previous start day. Press F5 to run. So you see here, July 31st, first day of going down, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. So, and the trend start day is July 31st. Actually, the trend start day is a very important label that we use to identify the trend. The next one that we are going to do which is purely optional, but I'm going to show you here. It's the trend sequence. I'm just counting the day of the up or down trend. So let's create a column called trend sequence, and it's going to be equal to table df.groupby. So I'm grouping by the label, which is the trend start date. So the trend start date column, the one that I group by grouping the data according to the trend start date, then apply the count, press F5 to run, just check what we get. So here, when you see the start date of either the up or down trend, you will see 0, right? But I don't want to see 0, so basically what you can do is just add a 1 behind. So when I press F5, now you see the first day of the downtrend, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. I just checked my note and I'm now on the step 6. This is purely optional, but I'm going to just create an additional column called higher high and lower low, which we defined earlier is here. It's easier to read if you have this column. Higher high, and this one is lower low. Okay, and the step 7, we have to figure out the trend start price. So I'm going to create a trend start level, which is a trend start price. So step 7 is returning the start price. I'm trying to explain it a little bit. You see these two columns, higher high and lower low, which we defined earlier in step 6. For the downtrend, like this one, from July 31st to August 7, we are starting with a high point to go down, right? Because it is a downtrend. For the first day of downtrend, which is July 31st, we need to pick a higher point of today's high, which is 279.39, and previous day's high, which is 282.53. We start counting the trend's start date for a downtrend with a higher high column. Okay, so that's why you see when it is an up day, we start counting. When it is a down day, we start counting the start date from the higher high. So that's why within the 6 days of downtrend, which is here, because the trend start date shouldn't change, right? So we are going to pick the highest of the higher high column. Yeah, I know it's very confusing. So 28.253 should stay here. So you see the trend start, right? The trend start column, it stays for 6 days until a downtrend stops. Let me pick the uptrend. The day change is more than 0. So we start from the first day of the uptrend, which is October 15, all the way to the last day of the uptrend, which is on August 21st. So we are going to start by a lower point of today's low and previous day's low, 248.04 and 250.74. We are going to pick the lower one. So when you go to the trend start column, for the first day of the uptrend, we have 24.804, which is the lower of today's low and previous low. So that's the lower low on August 15, because it is an uptrend, so every day should go up, right? So the trend start will stay there. Otherwise, if it is not an uptrend or downtrend, then we just pick the open price. That's what we have here. Okay, let me just do this one. So the trend start column is going to be equal to when it is an uptrend. So it's update, the update that we, let me see where. Yeah, here. That's the condition, comma. We need to make use of the group by of the trend start date column. And we are going to use the lower low because it is an uptrend, right? And we need to apply the cumulative max commax method so that we can make the trend start value stays all the way through the uptrend, comma, otherwise. So we need to use the numpy dot where again, remember to close the whole thing. When it is a down day, so let me just apply this thing, but just changing to a higher high because it is a down day, right? So we use the higher high value and we need the minimum. So a -10 is decreasing more than -5, right? So that's why we use min. Otherwise, if it is not an up day or down day, then I just grab the open price for the current day. Bring that out. F5, just run it. Ooh, okay, you know what? Typo here. So it should be higher high. Let me just make this a little bit larger. So that's, oh, how come something wrong here? Let me see what's wrong here. 27. Oh, you know what? For the lower low, I should pick the min and the higher high is max. Let's do it again. So here you see 253 for the first day of downtrend, second day, third, fourth, 5, 6. And then the trend changes. 24805 for August 15 all the way to the last day of the uptrend, August 21st. So that's the uptrend. And then for step 8 is going to be the trend max level. Let me just go here. I include trend start and trend max because I want to show you how you measure the maximum point of either the up or down trend goes against the trend start price level. Usually if you use numpy and just save it in a variable instead of saving it in a column, then you might not see the columns, but it's very hard to see, right? So I'm just demonstrating it here. So to calculate the trend max is just like the one we did for the trend start column, but a little bit different. For an up day, we are looking at the high column, right? Because we want to know day by day the maximum point of the uptrend. And for down day, we're going to look at the low column. Again, for high day, we need to apply the commax method because +10 is more than +5, right? And for low, a -10 is decreasing more than a -5. This time, I'm just changing it a little bit. Just call it step 8 and change the name to trend max. For the up day, we're looking for the higher, the day high, and we use the max. And for down day, we are going to look at the day low, right? Because we want to know how deep it goes down, and we use min. So let me just press F5 to print. Okay, so we have the trend max. Let's see if I'm right. So for the first day of uptrend, we have the trend max equals the day high, right? 27632, and see if 27401. Oh, no way. Yeah. Okay, I just got it wrong. It's a downtrend, right? So the trend max should be lower than or equal to the previous day. So 27401 is okay. 267 is lower than 272599. Okay, hold on. So for the 5th day, which is here, the low point is 25219, right? But for the last day of the downtrend, the date low is higher than the previous day's low. We still keep previous day's low. So that's why you see the lower low is 25219. It doesn't change. And the same applies to the uptrend. This one should be August 15. The trend max keeps going up, right? 257 is more than 254. 262 is more than 257, and so on. When you look at the 4th and the 5th day, the day high 285 for the 5th day is higher than the 6th day's day high. but we still keep the 5th day stay high as the trend max. You see 26285. As you can see, for these two occasions, a downtrend, if it repeats the trend max itself, then the next day will become an uptrend. For this one, if the uptrend's trend max repeats itself here, it becomes a downtrend the next day. But that's just one of the observation. I'm not implying, it's just my observation. Okay, actually you can create a column called trend max change, whatever, percentage change, to capture the percentage change of trend max against the trend start column. So it's just like df trend max minus the base, which is trend start price level, and usually put it inside a bracket divided by the base trend start. Let me just F5 to print that out. Then you see the percentage. Oh, you know what? I forgot to multiply by 100. Just wrap around the whole thing and then multiply it by 100. F5 to run it again. This is the trend max percentage that change against the trend start. So you can keep track of how many percent. So let's say if I pretend that if the downtrend goes more than 5%, then the next day will be an uptrend. Then you can just put that inside a filter column. I'm just treating it as an example. That's what you can do with this column, trend max change. Okay, so I hope it helps.